Can you learn chess in 10 minutes? I think you can. In the next 10 minutes, how the board works, how the pieces move, and what you are actually trying to do. Let's go. Think of a chess as a war between two armies. You win by defeating their army, and the way you do that is by getting their king. Not capturing every piece, just the king. You need to attack it in a way it cannot escape. That moment is called checkmate. The king is dead. 64 squares arranged in an 8 by 8 grid, alternating light and dark. Let me show you how it looks. Of course you know how the chessboard looks. One rule worth remembering before anything else. White square on the bottom right. Getting that wrong disqualifies you immediately in the eyes of chess players. Each player starts with 16 pieces set up on the first two rows. Each piece moves differently, and I'll get there in a second, but the logic of capturing is always the same. Your piece moves to the square where the opponent's piece has been and takes it off the board. Let me show you an example. White knight moves to the square where black bishop has been and takes it off the board. White knight takes black bishop. Now black pawn takes white knight, takes it off the board. Pawn attacks knight, and black knight now takes white bishop, takes it off the board. White pawn takes black knight. You got it how it works, I guess. This is the first episode of Learn Chess in Plain English. Don't memorize the moves. Subscribe to understand the game with Chess Dad. Three pieces that share one idea. They move in straight lines as far as they want until something is in the way. The rook moves horizontally and vertically. The bishop moves diagonally and stays on its starting color for the entire game. The queen combines both, any direction, always in a straight line, and any distance. It is the most powerful piece on the board. The knight is the exception to almost everything. It does not move in a straight line. It moves in an L shape, two squares in one direction, then one square to the side. Some say 1-2 turn to explain it. Also, it is the only piece that can jump over other pieces, and because of that, it can reach squares that no other piece can reach from the same position. It is very useful at the beginning when the board is still quite crowded. Just don't call it a horse or pony. Chess pieces are not animals. The king moves one square in any direction. That's it. Slowest piece on the board. And the most important. Everything in chess exists to protect this piece or to attack the opponents. You already know what happens when the king has nowhere to go. Yes, that is checkmate. 8 pawns each. The foot soldiers. A pawn moves one square forward. It cannot move backwards, ever. On its very first move, it has the option to advance 2 squares instead of 1. And it captures differently from how it moves, diagonally, 1 square forward and to the side. Simple piece, more exceptions than any other. Pawns tend to become more important when they are far advanced and more important as the game goes on. Details later in this video. Not all pieces are equal. A rough guide. Pawn is worth 1 point. Knight and bishop, 3 each. Rook, 5. Queen, 9. These values help you decide whether a trade is good, fair, or a disaster. Giving up a queen to capture a bishop is almost never worth it. The numbers tell you why instantly. And the king? The king is priceless. Lose it and the game is over. Which brings us to the most important moment in chess. When your king is under attack, you are in check. You must deal with it immediately. You cannot make any other move. If there is no way out, that is checkmate. The game ends the instant it happens. No next move, no escape. That is how chess is won and lost. There are only 3 ways to escape check. The first way, you take the piece that's checking you, that's attacking your king. So here, black bishop is attacking your king. You have a chance to take it. You take it. It's not check anymore. The second way how to escape check. That rook is attacking you. It's attacking your king. You move away from that rook spot. You move away to a square that's not in check. The king has escaped. The third way. Bishop is attacking you. That dark bishop on the other side of the board is attacking you on this diagonal, and you put something on its spot. You put your bishop on its spot, it's again not check anymore. And then the fourth one, wait, didn't we say 3? Yes, we did. So in the fourth case, if you can't do any of the above, if you can't capture the piece, you can't block the piece, you can't escape, like in this case, it's checkmate. Your king is dead, game over. Not every move you can imagine is a move you are allowed to make. 3 most common cases. Moving a piece in a way it cannot move. A bishop along a straight line, a rook diagonally. Moving into check. You cannot voluntarily place your own king on a square that is under attack. And leaving your king in check. If your king is already in check, you must deal with it. Any move that does not resolve it is illegal. Online you wouldn't be able to play that move. Over the board, the opponent or arbiter will stop you. And 2 illegal moves in a single game mean you lost that game, so be careful. At the beginning of the game, the king is weak and vulnerable at the center of the board. How do you put it to safety? The solution is castling, the only move in chess where 2 pieces move at once. How does it work? You move your king 2 squares towards the rook, and that is king side castling here for white, rook slides to the other side. When you move black king here towards the rook by 2 squares, it is queen side castling, and it works the same way, rook just slides to the other side. There are some strict conditions for this. There should have been nothing between those 2 pieces, so the path has to be clear. King can't be in check at any point, at the beginning, during its path, and at the end of its journey, at the final square. And none of those pieces, so the king or the rook, could have moved earlier in the game. If you want it in more details, my last video covers it perfectly. Video link is in the description. A pawn that reaches far end of the board promotes to any piece but king, and it cannot stay a pawn either. So how it works, let me show you. So this white pawn got to the end, and you have a choice online to choose between the queen, knight, rook and bishop, and almost always the queen is chosen because it is the strongest piece. Now in here you can see black in fact doing the same and choosing a queen here. So in theory you can have more than 1 queen on the board, in theory all 9, but it never happens in a real game. Yet seeing 2 or 3 queens of the same color on the board is happening occasionally. Fairness matters in chess, and this move exists for precisely that reason. If the opponent's pawn moves by 2 squares, like here, white pawn moves by 2 squares, and it didn't have a chance to the c-pawn to retake it, the c-pawn can still retake it and move diagonally to the square where it would have been if it moved by 1 square only. It does look weird, I know. Let's see it, how it works from the other side. So black moves by 2 squares and white takes it by moving diagonally to the square where it would have been if it moved by only 1. Now it can be only done on the next move after the white pawn or the black pawn moved by 2 squares, not later. Then you lose the right for en passant. More details in my previous video, it explains it perfectly. Knowing the rules is one thing, but how do you actually start properly a chess game? Does it even matter which piece do you move? Yes, it does, and it is not that simple. You might have seen a few beginners playing a game that goes like this. This is the Italian game. What I will help you in my next video is understand why it is played like that for 500 years, not memorize the moves. And further ahead, the patterns that end games. The queen and bishop working together, the queen and rook, and one of the most elegant finishes in chess, the smothered mate, where a knight delivers checkmate to a king surrounded by its own pieces. These are the moments chess is remembered for. I'm preparing the most common checkmating patterns video coming soon in this series. Next video, how to start chess game. Not just the first move, but the thinking behind the first 10. What you're trying to do and why. See you at the board.